Hey, I am Cremotus, but you can call me by my real name, Chase. This is a pretty important topic, so let me get straight to it. This is my avatar. I feel comfortable in this, but hi, I'm Chase. I know the goober, but I want to talk about my experiences with ADHD and autism. Now, don't get me wrong, I am not a doctor. I am not giving you a guide of how to fix it. I just want to give my own personal experiences of how I dealt with it. But I guess I can get to it when I get to it. How to begin? Anyways, I always felt like I was different. That's a big thing. You feel like you're different. At least I feel like you're different. Please don't feel like you're even more different if what I'm saying doesn't align with you. ADHD and autism, especially autism, is a spectrum. Just because I had it off the charts doesn't mean if you also have it off the charts that we're the same. We are not the same, but we're the same in different ways. It's hard to explain, but I'm gonna try my absolute best in a little heartfelt video. This video is not gonna do good, but I feel like it's important for me, and maybe even just if one more person finds this relatable, I'll be happy. That really. Anyways, to begin with this, I always felt like I was different, like really different. Growing up, I didn't really have many people who I would dare call my friends. Even right now, I just have one. Honestly, yeah, in my life, everyone who I've found as a friend really disrespected me and thought just because I was so desperate and so lonely, and that they could take advantage of me and be so rude to me and get me to do what they want, but I was not their friend, and I'm lonely because of it. And sometimes, at least for me, I feel like you will settle with people who aren't your friend just so you would have people in your life to call your friend, which I've learned is a bad thing. But on the opposite end of the schedule, I overcorrected so much to the point where I wanted to be alone. I wanted to not have friends, so I didn't have to worry. But then that spiked my loneliness so much to the point where it gave me depression, which has been confirmed by doctors, but that's here or there. I just want to tell people that you shouldn't go to either end of the spectrum. You shouldn't settle with being disrespected by rude people, but on the other side, sorry, I stutter, so that, and on top of the social anxiety, I'll get to that later. Anyways, to continue, on the other side though, God, this is embarrassing. Talk about this, but I need to talk about it. On the other side, you don't want to put yourself away until you friend someone who's like the perfect friend. Trust me, when you're not even like me with autism or ADHD, when you're a human, you will never find a perfect friend. You will always have ups and downs with people, so you shouldn't settle with horrible, but you shouldn't not take anything until you find perfection. And I only learned that very recently, and that's when I met my best friend Paul. He's honestly really cares about me, and even if he's really rude from time to time, I know it's just his personality, and he doesn't mean it seriously. And we've had talks about that, but that's here or there. Another thing is people thinking you're worse than what you are because of your condition. With me personally, a thing I really had and a problem I really just had was people always looking down on me, like calling me weird, but not even that, especially my parents. Not the fact that they looked down on me, just the point where like they felt like even if they had to specify the doctor, so he's really autistic, he's on the spectrum. It's not as me, but I feel like that's heartbreaking. That I'm so different, or maybe I'm just cloud minded. and that me or even you have to take medication, for example, like, is it necessarily a bad thing? Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. I've never been able to figure that out myself, but I'm on that journey myself. No, that's really that. But another thing is you usually sorry I said it real bad. You may have a big sensation, faxation. What's the word? When you really focus on one thing you love. I, I know a lot of people like me love Sonic or love Minecraft or Fortnite. For me, it's maps. I love geography and maps. I know, nerd, dude, or whatever, but that's just my passion. It's one of the few things which makes me happy in life. Like when you have depression, yeah, I know. And just by the way, this isn't no cry bait. This isn't no trauma dump. This is honestly just me and giving my honest opinions and feelings about things. I promise, by the way, my videos aren't always just depressing. I'm sorry, but anyways, back on track. Back on track. For me, it was geography in this little show called Murder Drones. Now, I'm not sure if you can really see it, but yeah, you really can. But I have posters all on this side of my room behind my camera and my desk of merch from the show Murder Drones. Watch it; it's really good. But back on track, I have I have had people tell me that I am obsessive. I'm lazy. I'm weird for always wanting to do this one thing. It's just how you are. And when you have people tell you that something you're focusing too much on instead of your school or studies, it makes you disheartened and not want to do the one thing you love. But since you have ADHD or autism, if you're like me, you can't focus on anything else. Into like a cycle of excitement, get told off, you feel bad about it, you forget about it, you get excited again. Like it's this big cycle and it never ends unless you do something about it, which is stand up for yourself. Or even not just that, especially not to your parents, what you honestly have to do is have a talk with them. I have not really have the courage to do that. So I'm talking to a camera about it. I might do it at some point. Hopefully they don't see this video. Anyway, to the point being, and probably the last point I want to make, with my ADHD and autism, especially my loneliness, I have developed zero social skills. And don't you? And like, it's not even on TikTok. I have genuinely only downloaded TikTok one day in my life, and on that day, I used it for like 15 minutes and thought, I'm not a fan of this. I like long form videos with actual, plots and relevance to it. So I didn't get that. I just was so sorry. There's trash on my desk. By the way, I've just been so dead set on only being alone because I like it. I like it, and to the point where I got no social skills. Like I sweat in front of the McDonald's cashier. I'm not trying to be funny, it's the truth, but I got so bad to where I pretend I was mute when going up the cashiers, and so I don't really have to talk to them. I'm really that bad about it. And people just say, oh, no, you gotta toughen up, or it can't be that bad. But darn it, but when you have a bad stutter, have no social skills, you tend to get social anxiety. If you have that too, yeah, we're cooked. But even if we're cooked, like even if you're so bad, where you can never ever compare to the average person, which I don't get that a lot at least. Parents don't go, "Oh, your cousin is some, I don't know, Harvard genius or something." At the bare minimum, I'm not getting that. But what I do get though, at least not from my parents, but from other people, is that how I need not even be better, but I'm lazy. I get that so much. You're lazy. You're lazy. You're lazy. You're lazy. I'm not. I'm just fixated on one thing. Or social anxiety has me choose not to do something I have to do because I would rather get yelled at than have to interact with people. And maybe that's my fault. Maybe this is just me having social anxiety and do this to myself by not talking to people. But even if all of it in total was all my fault and nothing else was important except for the fact that it was all my fault, it doesn't make it fair. Even if it's all my fault, I was the reason why I chose not to talk to people. Is it really fair to compare me to, not even compare me, but to say I need to be normal or act like other people? And I've heard people say that it's good to be unique, but you're on it. But when you're unique to any way, that's not a positive. And even when it's not, even when it's not even neutral, but it has to be only positive. Anything that's neutral, even or negative, is seen as a bad thing when being unique in a good way is showered upon. And yes, I've been told I'm so smart at geography. I'm so smart at math. I know math's scary, but that's been easy to me. At the same time, I'm getting backslapped by Chase. Your handwriting is atrocious. I don't write. I love typing stories on Google Doc, but I just don't write. I don't do it. And I get that. My handwriting is horrible. I'll even admit it, but I just don't. God, this is such probably a trauma dump, but I don't even care if it is. How do I even explain this? I just want to be seen as normal. I think if I say, I don't care how people think about me, but I hate when people find me annoying, right? 9 times out of 10, I won't care. Call me fat, call me ugly, call me stupid, which happens, but that's here or there. I don't want people to find me annoying, find me rude. You can insult me all you want, but when you deeply have a sense of hatred towards me, it bugs me, which goes against itself, but that's the best I can explain it now. I'm not gonna say to a common babe and tell me about your experiences or not, but if you want to, you can do it. I will try to read everything and make a part two talking about people's experiences, but if you don't want to, just don't. I'm not gonna comment bait you. Anyways, that's just my heartfelt thing. I may make something later today, but yeah. See ya. I'm Crim Marches.